Speaker, with the permission of the House, I beg to move the following motion. That this House tenders its warmest thanks to the Right Honourable Bruce Bernard Weatherill for the skill and distinction with which he has maintained the traditions of the Speakership through momentous changes to the practices of this House. Thanks him for the genial and wise exercise of his authority. Records its appreciation of his fairness and tolerance in dealing with all members, and unites in wishing him a long and happy retirement upon his departure from the chair and from this House. Mr. Speaker, for almost the last 8 years, every formal speech or intervention which each of us have made in this House has been directed to you. In many of those cases, you have been the innocent medium for a message targeted elsewhere. On this occasion, however, I, and I know others, Mr. Speaker, if they are fortunate enough to catch your eye, wish to speak to you directly and personally. Mr. Speaker, the end of this Parliament is an especially momentous one, marked as it is by the departure of so many distinguished Right Honourable and Honourable members on both sides of the House. It is made all the more momentous by the departure of our Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is no office within this House more important than yours. It is an august and an ancient role. You are, I understand, the 154th Speaker. Over 600 years of history loom at your back, but never on your back. That sense of the past could easily have overwhelmed a lesser man. But in this House, we know it hasn't done that to you. It hasn't prevented you from developing your historic position to respond to the conditions of the present. And you have always done so in your own very individual way. Mr. Speaker, as no one knows better, you have to govern this House in accordance with a host of rules, some laid down in the minutest detail, some apparently set in stone. But so much of the smooth running of this House depends on a wise interpretation of those rules. You have provided over many years the necessary wisdom to keep this House on the right path. You've known when to turn a blind eye and when to be eagle-eyed. You've known when to be stone deaf and when to swoop on a muttered sedentary interjection at 50 yards. You've known when to exercise a short rein and when to use a long lead. And above all, Mr. Speaker, of vital importance to this House, you have preserved the rights of the individual member, however new, however junior, and from whatever party. Your impartiality has shown that despite your long and honourable service in the Whip's office, an institution for which I retain the greatest affection, you have shown that one need not be terminally tainted by that pit of partisans when you leave it. Mr. Speaker, when you were first elected, my noble friend Lord Coenbrook, then the Honourable Member for Spelthorne, said of you as Deputy Chief Whip, and I quote, "Never did I hear him get angry, lose his temper, or even raise his voice, even though sometimes the provocation was great." I think, Mr. Speaker, that even after 8 years, I can say the same, that you never got angry, never raised your voice, and never lost your temper. Well, as W.S. Gilbert might have put it, hardly ever, Mr. Speaker. It has been your privilege, and perhaps, Mr. Speaker, sometimes your penance, to preside over our first televised proceedings. You are the first television speaker, and as a result, you've become a star, if not of stage, certainly of screen. Your appearance, your voice are known throughout the whole world. And in wig and knee breeches, you're recognised from Perth to Patagonia, from Teesside to Tuvalu. And most tellingly, Mr. Speaker, not only are you known, you have become respected the world over as well. The arrival of television must have added immeasurably to your responsibilities, but you have borne them both lightly and with dignity. I believe that your performance has enhanced the reputation of the Mother of Parliaments in scores of countries and among hundreds of millions of people around the globe. The job of Speaker is a lonely one. You've had to shun the camaraderie of the tea room and the smoking room in almost monastic fashion. And it must, therefore, have been all the more important that you've had the active support of Lynn, Mrs. Speaker. Your joint hospitality in the Speaker's apartment has been a notable feature of your time in residence here, bringing immeasurable pleasure to all of your many guests. May I, Mr. Speaker, through you, tender our thanks to Lynn as well as to you. Closer to home, it's not only we who'll miss you, but your constituents in Croydon North East, whom you've loyally served since 1964. And despite the pressing demands of your speakership, I know that your constituents have had no cause to feel neglected. In future, you'll have more time to spend on the good works that you support, on your favourite golf and tennis, and on the hobby you list in Who's Who as playing with your grandchildren. And I know how much you must look forward to that. Nonetheless, I suspect you will be sad as you prepare to lay down the speakership. We too, Mr. Speaker, regret that you're going, but you've made your decision and we must respect it. But as you depart, I hope that you know that you do so with our respect, our admiration and our affection. You, Mr. Speaker, may miss the House. We, Mr. Speaker, shall certainly miss you. Yeah.